Welcome to the Inventors Arena. I'm Ed, and this is Scott. Today we're going to discuss fine-tuning your invention for the market. Scott, why don't you kick it off?
Well, Ed, as we work with different inventors, we find them in different stages of development. And sometimes we have somebody that has an idea that they've not even sketched out on a napkin yet. And sometimes we encourage them to give us that in a one-page concept document just so they can solidify their ideas a little bit more. So we try to move them along the path or the journey that we call it as far as they can get without us really helping them to do it because it's their idea. And we want them to really think about, as we'll talk about here in a little bit, the value of their idea, the potential perceived value, what somebody might pay for it. And oftentimes they don't know that at first. They've identified a problem and they say, I have a solution. So we have everything from I have a spark or I have an idea to I have it written down on a napkin to I have, some people have a basic business plan. Others have filed a provisional patent for it just to protect the idea for a while. Everybody is in a different stage, and that's okay. And we're okay with that. And we encourage everybody to go as far as you can with your idea that meets your mindset and your skill set, right? And along the way, hopefully we get to the point, or you get to the point where you get to patent it. And that's when you move from the napkin to, okay, I've got to seriously think about, how am I going to depict this? Do I need 2D drawings? Do I need to get a patent agent? Do I need to get a patent attorney? Can I do this myself? And that's okay, but we want to get somebody to that stage where they patent it because then they can start talking to people. Okay, until you file it with the patent office, unless you have non-disclosure agreements in place that are, pretty heavy that protects your idea, you don't want to share with too many people, particularly if it's a unique idea or a solution that nobody else has thought about.
Yeah, you want to be as confidential as you can, but then there's still that line where you probably need some help with invention development along the way where, you're getting it ready to market when the time comes, but you definitely don't want to be marketing until you've got that patent protection at least in place. And many people actually get to the patenting stage and then they kind of fizzle out when it comes to the marketing. And we realize patenting is very important. In fact, I'm a patent agent, as Scott's mentioned. It's very important, and we've discussed that in other episodes, how important it is, why it's important, and when to do it. And so we'd really encourage you to watch those episodes and also talk with a patent attorney or agent, kind of get a good relationship going with one, and then discuss the things that you want to discuss and see what protection is best and see what is good for timeliness on that. So on that note, we always like to keep things interactive. So online, if you can, if you're paying attention still, and if you could respond right now in the space provided, and just let us know if you have a patent already in place or not. Some do and some don't. So if you do, if you could hit the yes, and if you don't, then hit the no. We'll give you a couple seconds for that. And then we'd just like you to let you know that we really love our comments from you folks, and it keeps us raised on the platform so that we can reach out to many other inventors to try to help them out too. So thank you very much for being interactive and responsive.
And it also gives us ideas because sometimes our future topics are based upon the feedback and the comments that we receive online. So that's very helpful to us. So let's go back to the idea, the spark, and the napkin, because that's oftentimes how it begins. You have a founder, you have an inventor who is the founder of a company, whether they want to be or not. Once they start that process, you have now moved into that arena and you wonder, what do I do?
Yeah.
And what don't I know? And there's usually a lot that you don't know along that path. But it's okay. And you have that napkin, you have that idea that you want to take to the next level. And that's okay. That's what we call the spark, the idea stage. And everybody's at a different stage. At some point in time, you're going to need to move that to the next stage, which is to document it a little bit more.
Yeah,
Okay.
and everybody starts. So don't get intimidated or worried. Everybody's got to start somewhere, and everybody goes through the same phases generally, and you got to start somewhere and you got to end somewhere. And our goal is to have it so that you end with success.
Well,
So now on with what's the invention. So you've got a new way to solve a problem is where it generally comes from. Now you got to be thinking, is it the best thought out solution or just a quick solution that you came up with? And I would encourage you to think about the many ways that a problem can be solved, because there's generally, I can't think of one problem that there hasn't been multiple solutions for. And if you keep thinking, pressing that envelope, in the end, like we've got rocket ships re-landing with tongs. So, and that didn't just come from, this has been decades and decades and decades but it's that always what's the best solution, right? And so think of your market and think of what they want and what they need, right?
yeah, too many inventors create it and think they will come, as the old, the adage goes, and they quickly learn that I had a great idea, but it doesn't fit the marketplace.
Yeah, do people really want it or do people really need it, right? Maybe you can talk to us a little bit on want versus need, Scott.
Yeah, so we're getting into this human psychology aspect of it, which is really a component of marketing.
Yes.
But you want to make sure in your design phase, even when you're writing this out on your napkin or